before we end. Yeah, we can do that. Let's go to the grid first, because it's only got 2 songs and the other got 3 songs, because there's a separate side level for it. So that's my reasoning for you. Access the grid with Terra Ventus and Aqua, because that makes all of the sense in the world. We don't need to do Rainbow Excellence anymore. We have a bit more wiggle room as to which levels we want to do well on to unlock the next gate, which again I think is a stupid mechanic to be in this game in the first place. As long as I clear all the levels, that should just do it. Maybe you can have a mechanic where you can unlock those gates sooner with the stars, but once they clear all the levels, it should just automatically open up. It's my view on it anyway. It seems like artificial game length and padding to do it this way. It doesn't seem that way, it just is. I will repeat, Aqua does not get glide. Which is weird, because you're quote unquote meant to be playing this team through the Birth by Sleep story, right? And the Birth by Sleep story had some of the longest gliding sections in the game so far. I'm assuming Kingdom Hearts 3 might have some longer ones even. I don't know why. I'm just assuming that, because it's actually kind of difficult to do the normal rhythm stuff while you're also gliding, because you're paying attention to 2 things at once. And I'm not good at that. I'm not a very good multitasker at all. I can sequence task decently well. Multitask, I don't think anybody can really multitask. I think there's just people who don't understand the difference. Like, doing multiple things at once is just not something the human brain is very good at. But like switching back and forth between tasks, some people are better than that than others, right? I'm decently good at that, but not on a moment-to-moment basis. Like I can switch back and forth. Like if I've been doing something, I can stop doing that and just start doing something else like 10 minutes later, which you might also just call a short attention span. Fair. But then when I get back into it, I need to fully get back into it. I can't just like store that in like some kind of memory, and then when I get back, like when I'm editing a video, for instance, right? When I'm editing a video, I'm editing it. If I get distracted by like having to go get lunch because you need to eat, that's just a thing human beings need to do, right? It's a bad example because it doesn't really like apply to multitasking, because you're not doing anything productive with that like time. You're eating food, which is okay. It is productive, but it's not the kind of productivity I mean. Then when I get back into that edit, I really need to get back into it. It's not like an instant pick up where I left off. It's like a restart. Like I have to reboot my. What was I doing? What was I thinking? What was the flow? What was the feeling of this specific part? That does not get stored at all. I have to like rebuild it every time I click off of Adobe Premiere for like more than 2 minutes at a time. But I can relatively quickly build that back up. It only takes me a couple of minutes to build that back up. And that is why I say I am decent at multitasking. Again, not multitasking, but sequence tasking, I think people tend to call it. Maybe I'm mixing up things and it's called something else entirely as well. And sequence tasking is a different thing, but I think that's what sequence tasking is, right? I don't know. That's what I always refer to it. Like, to myself, when I'm thinking about it. I tend to call it sequence tasking. And it's also a term I've heard other people use. I just don't know if they mean the same thing by it. Which is a real issue if you have like... We talked about this earlier in the series, right? Is like having a very exact language, this kind of thing wouldn't happen. But because you have like idioms and certain manners of speech, two people can say the same thing and mean something different. And the fact that that is even a potentiality in a language is actually kind of ridiculous, but also it makes the language more difficult to learn, easier to use, is the way I describe it, I think. But that's a pretty deep philosophy-related topic, I'd argue. So, no stars at all. Okay, we didn't get any stars for that. We might need to do some grinding. But again, I am not doing that today because we are finishing this world, the next world, and then getting the fuck out of here. Oh! You can actually use the D-pad to... Oh, wow.